Just by way of introduction, Ms. Corcoran, Lieutenant Samantha Corcoran, Ensign Christopher Hess from Air Station Savannah. You are our two AUXDATA tonight. So,
yeah, thank you for the welcome.
Well, always better if we could do it in person, but some days you just gotta run what you brung. All right, good evening, everybody. I think we're ready to get started, and we have recording running. If that's a problem for anybody, you can just go ahead and check out. What we're going to do tonight, start off with facility inspections. We have a live case here on my couch that Luke's going to do a screen share on as we step through this. Well, I'm going to walk over there and coach you. So is there anybody on the call that has not logged into the new system yet?
Yeah.
Okay, if you're not an owner or an operator, I'm not going to worry about that right now, but at some point in the near future, you'll want to get your credentials straightened out and start poking around in there. Okay, so we're going to go over the facility inspections. The basic flow of things is to find yourself, find your facility, create the inspection report, attach the documents, submit them, have somebody do the actual inspection, have them approve it, and then wait until the OTO processes it. That's the cycle on that one. After that, we're going to go into patrol orders. We'll talk about the life cycle of them, how to create a request for patrol orders, how to set your locations, populating the summary and description, changing the status, and the stretch goal tonight is to have Ms. Corcoran approve a set of orders that have been requested so that you can see what happens there. And then briefly we'll hit the completion and submission stages of that. So I'm going to turn the video off on this machine and I'm going to go help Luke with the screen share. Hit share over there. Did you guys have it? Okay, everybody should be. All right, cancel out of that, Luke. Yeah, let's go all the way back. Go back to the home page. Hit home. All right, so for people that haven't spent a lot of time cruising around in this thing, is my audio still coming through okay? Why don't you unmute your machine and I'll mute this one.
Good to go.
You're doing good.
Audio's good. And we can see the screen.
It's Lima Charlie.
Here we go. We're back on.
Okay, if we still have audio, you should be seeing the home page for AUXDATA 2 here. So the basic sequence is to find yourself, find your boat, and then do an inspection for it. So Luke's going to do that by going to members. He's found himself. Now, under the related tab, you'll find a lot of stuff, awards, qualifications, and facilities.
Everybody's following?
Okay, so let's go on down.
You might want to go slower, Walter. Yeah, just go one step at a time and slower, letting people in between.
Do you want me here, or is it easier for me to?
Sit right here, it's fine.
No.
It's perfectly fine here.
No, I mean, would you rather I do it from that computer or?
No, this is good.
Okay.
Because I gotta do it on mine. I gotta learn on my
Alright.
computer.
Well, they can't see us anyway.
No.
All right, so we see member activities.
Nick,
That's
we can see you.
the-
You're right in front and center in the small little window. So you might want to stop your video.
What did you say?
Now we don't see
Repeat
you.
that, David.
Yeah, I got that. Go for it.
So what we see here is some member activities. There's stuff from 3 years ago, so it's material that was imported when they moved it over from the old system. Under skills, that's the stuff from the skills bank where we had, you know, what you did for a living and stuff like that. Competencies is the new word for what we used to call qualifications. So we see Luke's done his core training. He's a vessel examiner. He's boat crew member, CPR provider, interpreter, and he's done the basic qualification course. You now have a section with awards and facility ownership. So under facility ownership, you see 2 rows. There's one for his ownership. You'll see a row for ownership or permission to operate each facility that you're related to in the system. So the second one of those is the current boat that needs the inspection. So we'll click on that. What we're looking at now is a facility ownership record, and it lists the facility itself, which is a center console boat, who the member is, and what the type of ownership is. In this case, it's corporate. That ownership could be, I forget the exact words they use, but if you just own the boat yourself, that's one kind. If you're not the owner, but you're an operator qualified on the boat, that is something that shows up in the ownership block. So let's click on the facility itself. So here's the actual boat, C2C2. We see that the last inspection date was May of last year. It's due on July 7th of this year. So we want to get a fresh facility inspection in it. If you look over on the right, you see a facility inspection block. It's got one old record in it. This boat's only been around for a year or so. So there's only one previous inspection on this particular facility. If you look at it, it'll give you the inspection date and probably not much else. What we want to do is get a new inspection going. So next to facility inspections, there's a button that says new. Let's go ahead and hit it. And if it's an aircraft that has one workflow associated with it, if it's a boat, it's got another. If it's a radio, it has a third. So we're going to let this thing continue to be a boat and move on to the next.
You got it.
All right, so here we have the skeleton of a facility inspection. So the boat itself is pre-populated into the first block. He's going to have to pick a vessel examiner. Now, in that case, that'll be me. So he's going to search and pick that top row. And he's going to ask me to inspect the boat tomorrow.
Walter, got a question.
Go ahead.
If you put the name of someone in there who now cannot do it and you need to change that name, can you do that?
I haven't tested it yet, but I hope so.
Okay, because
What that name is going to do is that determines the routing, so that when Luke's done with his part of it, whoever's in that block is going to get a note saying that you've got some work to do.
Okay, because the person that was put in for one of our facilities is now down with the virus.
Oh,
So
no.
we need to put another name in there.
Okay, I would go back and try and edit it. I can help coach you through it offline, or if you want to stay after class tonight, we can do a screen share on that one.
Okay,
And Walter, from an experienced Salesforce user, you may have to actually create a new facility request. Leave that one standing until you can find a way to delete it, but you may have to create a new facility request.
okay.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll figure that out. It's a good question, though. All right, here's something that's specific to District 7, but very important for all of you. On the right-hand side, under DIROX, do not put Commander Briggs. You want to put in the OTO, Bosun Brown. So let's click into that and type BROWNE. And here's Haley, no middle name, Brown. Click on that. And save it. Okay, so we now have 2 facility inspections in there on this one. You can click on the link in the middle of the green block up top. Yeah, it's gone. Go down there and click on 342. Okay, so if we had the facility inspection report, the 7003 and the registration document done, Lou could upload those right now, but for right now, we'll just send it on to the vessel examiner, and we do that by going to the top right, and there's a button that says Submit for Approval.
Walter, can you cut one of the mics?
Can I do what?
Can you cut one of the microphones? We're getting some feedback.
Are you muted?
No, I'm not, but you're talking to me here.
Okay. Oh, I know what it is. See, it's the noise from one computer getting sucked into the other.
That's a lot worse right now.
Okay, I think that should have just killed it here. Is that better?
Yes, sir.
That's better.
Yes, it is.
So now I'm going to have to listen on your machine. So
That's fine.
bring up the volume if you can. Okay, so we had created the request. We had assigned the inspector. We had picked the date, and now it's time to submit for approval. So slide on up on the right side towards the top. You see that? Submit for approval. All right, now you have to put some sort of a comment in, just say, please inspect my boat.
Why wouldn't that be labeled submit for inspection?
Because it isn't, you fucking.
Sorry, repeat that, Bob?
The inspector's not going to approve it, so why say submit for approval?
Well, eventually you want somebody to approve it. I don't know, it's just a language. And the people that actually labeled all this stuff had some input from the Coast Guard, but not a whole lot. So, let's see. Lou, can you finish up your screen share now? Stop it. Oh, red button up there. Okay, I think I'm back.
I'm going to mute Luke and I'm going to put you back on, Walter. Go ahead and switch your voice because you're too far away.
Okay, Luke, why don't you mute your machine and we'll listen to this one.
I did.
Okay. So I'm back, and
Yeah.
one of the things that happens as a result of what we just did is I'm going to show my email up here. In my inbox, I have a message from AUXDATA to admin, new facility offer for use
we're getting
approval
some
request.
feedback. Walter,
Yeah,
Luke is muted. I don't know why. We're getting a feedback.
Luke is muted.
Luke is muted, but we're getting a lot of feedback.
David, it might not be Luke and Walter. Maybe somebody who's got two PCs in the room or something like that. I don't know if somebody else got a house with like two people on.
Yeah, we
the
have
same.
Al, Chuck. I'm going to mute everybody except Walter, folks.
Okay.
Should not be.
I'm not getting any feedback.
Just,
Not anymore, but there was some lost in like 1 minute ago.
all right, Walter, go ahead.
Okay. Are we looking at my email now?
Yeah.
Okay, so at the top of the stack, we have new facility offer for use approval request.
It's very small font, Walter. Bring it bigger.
Let's see if I know how to do that. Better?
Yeah. Not too much. Yep.
Okay, so it tells me that as a vessel examiner, I've got some work to do. Gives me a link to take me to the facility inspection record. I'm not sure I trust this, but we're going to give it a try. All right, so I timed out. I got to log back in. And they turned on something called two-factor authentication this week. That means that every time you log in, you're going to have to either receive an email with a code that you will load up, or you can, there's an app for Android or iPhone that will spit out the codes for you. So I'm using the Android app. It says that the code for the moment was whatever I just typed in. And here we go. It logs me into the system and takes me straight to facility inspection 22342. So now we're building a little history on this thing as we go along. We'll take a look at it. So this started out with the approval request being submitted by Luke. His comment was, please inspect my facility.
A little bit bigger, Walter, again, because people's eyesight. I have a hard time.
Okay.
Better. That's it.
Question.
Yeah, a question?
Yeah, if the can I as an inspector start this whole process, or does it have to come from the facility owner?
I don't know, but you've just volunteered to test it and find out and report back to the rest of us.
Roger.
Whoever that was, I couldn't tell, but anyway. So
Ken
we
and
have,
Mark, one each.
okay, so what I've done is we signed the, we've actually done the inspection already. So we've got a signed inspection form. We are going to go back to the facility inspection, and I'm going to upload a signed copy of the facility inspection form, the 7003, which we have here. So it'll take a second to pull that up. It's a 2-page scan.
And while we do this, Walter, if everybody could go into the chat room and put their first name, last name, flotilla number, and their ID number, so that Walter can maybe do something about training if there is a credit to be given towards training later.
Okay.
So if everybody knows how to get to the chat, that'll be great. The bottom, you should go ahead and in the chat room put first name, last name, flotilla number, and then your ID number for potential credits. That'll be great. And I will get the file.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Upload files. The other thing we need to upload on this is the copy of the current registration documents. So up they go. And we now have maybe there. So we now have this object in workflow. It's got 2 files attached to it, which is basically the same kind of thing that we would have done on the help desk in the old days. We have the facility inspection itself is in a pending status with Luke as the submitter, me as the, it says actual approver, but all I'm doing is the examination. Wilson Brown will be the approver. So everything's in order.
Walter, I have a question.
Yeah.
Just for clarification, you uploaded some files.
Yes.
Wouldn't those have been attached to the original request?
They could be. Luke could have done that himself, or I can do it, or he can do the version that he signed and I can download it and sign it and then scan it back up. It makes it a lot easier to move things around without having to.
Okay, say for example, this was someone other than you two working together. This was someone who sends in the request through the system, has updated their documents. Those would already be there when you pull it up to do the inspection, right? Or to do the approval, right?
Yes, we're not in a situation where we can do completely virtual inspections. I still have to, BOSI's not approving, but
okay. How do you get those files from the person requesting the inspection if they're not including them when it goes through the system?
They can email them to you separately. They probably should attach them initially. It's just, I had them on my computer here because that's the one the scanner's attached to.
Okay, so you can either get them already in the system or they can send them to you and you can add them.
Yes, and for a new facility offer, initial offer, you would have the pictures of the boat. What happens is as you start uploading documents, it knows who put them into the system, and you become the owner of that document. So you can attach it to different things. You might end up wanting to attach a picture of the boat to something else like a patrol order.
Right, well that's why I'm kind of asking why you're doing it instead of the person making the request. That's a lot of extra work for you, and now you own that document instead of the person who submitted it.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, ideally the initiator would put at least the first version of the inspection document.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Are there any format or size restrictions on the uploads?
Not I've found yet. That 2-page scan was 3 or 4 meg. It took a minute to get it up there, but nobody's warned me about sizes of uploads. So here we go. Here's my comments on the inspection. Facility meets the requirements. The registration documents are attached. You need a new sticker, Lou? Nope, we got nice clean stickers on it, so nothing else to add. We're going to, oh wait. We'll put that into. If you needed to replace stickers, you could put a comment in, and that will travel. All right, so I'm going to hit the big blue button. We'll go back to the page itself. And now under status, you see that it's under DIROC's review. So we've now got 3 steps done in the workflow. And this thing is now, I believe the bosun just got an email saying that the inspection was in there waiting for him to review and approve or reject. So when he does, that will update the inspection date, the inspection renewal date, and we'll be good for another year.
Walter?
Yes.
John. When we put ours in, he assigned it to a guy by the name of Harvey Bruno. You ever heard of him?
Yeah, I talked to him yesterday.
Oh, okay.
He is the guy that has traditionally handled the vessel facility documentation for District 7.
That's where ours is stuck right now with Harvey waiting to get approved. Remember the ones you helped us out on that a couple weeks ago?
Right. For whatever reason, nothing has been approved in District 7 in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
So
just hang in there, right?
Yeah, it's hang in there. So let's see. We've got this thing in here, and we had a report. If anybody's interested. Oh yeah. No, I know. One thing that's drastically different in the new world as compared to the old world is that for an initial offer, in the old world, you would describe the boat on paper on the 7003 form, route it through the chain when it was finally accepted, after sector approval, by the way. Then it would go to Harry Bruno, and he would go into AUXDATA and actually build the boat. In the new world, you build your own boat. So if you're going to do an initial offer on a facility that doesn't exist in the system, you would go through this process. And when you were, if you remember, one of the first things we did was select which facility we were doing the inspection on. There was a button down at the bottom that said new. That's where you go to create a new boat. So it's on the owner. It's the owner's responsibility to go through, enter all the data, the fuel burn, the equipment on board, all the value of everything, all that stuff. And then it would just go through the system as a facility inspection for the initial offer from there. I don't want to get any deeper than that into it. If anybody's doing an initial offer, get hold of me offline and I'll coach you through it. So if we look at some of the facility inspections that are out there, that's not a very good way to look at them. I've got a report for D7 facility inspections. Let's look at that. So these are all the facility inspections that have been done in District 7 since April. We've got a total of 23 of them that have gone up. 3 have been approved. 2 have been not approved, which is a polite way of saying rejected. 2 are under inspection. 11 are awaiting DIROC's review. And 3 of them have been created but not submitted yet. So these are the ones that are out there grouped by status. Bon Giovanni, that was an initial offer. We had a little issue with the registration, and we're going to clean that up and resubmit that one because it did get bounced all the way back. So here's the one we just did for Luke. 22342, and hopefully we'll get this backlog cleared out soon. Okay, that's That's all I've got for facility inspections. If there's any questions, we can deal with them now. Otherwise, we'll move on to patrol orders.
Hey, Walter, Jay Gleason, I have a question.
Jay?
Can you slide down to the facility inspection that is ends in 313? It's right down a little bit there. I just submitted that yesterday, having watched the video available online about how to submit one of these.
Okay,
And
that's you and Doc Perez here. You want to look at it?
Sure. I'm not embarrassed to say that I followed the instructions that I found online, and I had no idea that I needed to attach the 7030 form to it, like you just told me. So you can see it. I submitted it to Bosun Brown, and then she reassigned it just yesterday. But so how do you think I might need to go about to go add the attachments that I didn't know I had to attach?
Over here where it says files, are you you're still seeing my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so under files, you would upload files.
Okay. I can do that, and I'm on that screen right now on my computer, and I can see that that button is still available to me. So thanks, I'll get that done.
Okay. Yeah.
Walter, before you get off this list, would you go to the ones that we had, Flotilla 27 had submitted back before AUXDATA 2 and was supposedly been approved, but they're nowhere in sight? One of them was David Hogan.
No, this report is only since April, so it's not going to show anything previous. Okay. These are just objects that are in workflow in some form or another here.
Where do we find it?
So how do we find that one? Those two then.
All right.
And I've got one too.
All right. Well, hang on a second. I don't want to. We're 40 minutes into this already, and I don't want to go too late, and I don't want to give short shrift to patrol orders. So if there's individual cases, just drop me an email, and I'll stay on later, or we can deal with it tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. I noticed my two were down there in the list. So.
Okay, Luke, are you ready to request some orders now? All right, I'm going to stop my share.
Quickly, I just want to make sure that people remember that it's not only the form, but they have to attach all the supplemental documentation as a reminder. So don't submit just the form, just submit the registration.
Right.
Okay. Let's get. It's the green thing right there. All right, so yeah, go back to that. Share. Wow. Oh, that color is called saffron. Oh, great. That helps. Okay. So, you guys can hear us?
No.
Are you still hearing us? I'll just talk and have Luke go through it.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
All right, good. So, Luke, up top, let's go to more over on the right. And down to requests. Now we want to create a new request. On the right-hand side, there's a button that says new. Slide all the way over to the right.
Yeah, the other right.
Do you see the, yeah. Yeah, the color schemes are a little bit weird. All right, so we're going to do a patrol request. A service request is a trouble ticket basically in this thing. So don't touch that one just now. We're just going to do a basic patrol request. And so we got to pick a boat. facility owner type drop down. And in this case, the owner is on board. The operator, let's put Susan White in as the operator. It's S-U-S-A-N. Yep. Patrol date is tomorrow. This is for a real patrol. So, Ms. Corcoran, this is the one that we'd like to have you approved for tomorrow afternoon.
Sounds good.
And it's a boat. Patrol type is a mom. And under subject, just put mom and then the date, like June 26th. That's good. Okay, now roll back up. Skip status for now. Let's go to the reimburse. The owner. Patrol location would be, you gotta scroll down a little bit and find sector, there it is. Subunit, let's do Station Charleston. Ms. Corcoran, I talked to one of the IT people today, and if you want to set up patrol areas the way we used to have them, they're not entirely sure how to do that short of emailing Master Chief O'Connell. So
Okay.
I think we can live without them for the time being.
That
But
sounds good.
for now, we'll just put Charleston Harbor. That's a free-form text box, so you can type what you want there. And then just put Mom Patrol. Okay, and try and save it. Bottom right. I don't think you have to do anything there. That might be if you want to create it and assign it to somebody else. Okay, here's the problem. Susan's not a valid operator of the facility, so we have to add her as an owner operator. So let me see if there's a clever way to do this thing. Click that thing here. Okay, just ditch it, cancel it. All right, so Susan's not a valid operator, so we have to go back to the boat and add her as an operator. If under more, if you hit facilities, it'll show you which boats you've been looking at lately. So there it is. And what we're going to do is on the right-hand side, we'll go to facility ownership. And create a new record there. Member. And there she is. Under ownership type, you're going to set her up as an operator. That's it. So boom, that's how easy it is compared to what we used to have to do to add an operator to a facility, like run a whole fresh 7003 all the way across the district. So I think that's a big world of improvement. So we're going to do a patrol request, and we'll just have to recreate what we did previously. It looks like you can create orders for other people in this system, which is interesting.
Walter, am I jumping the gun by asking where it is you put in the crew?
No, that's a good question. First of all, we need to understand that a request is a different object than a patrol order in the new world. In the old world, requested orders and approved orders and completed orders and submitted orders were all just different stages of the life cycle for the same thing. In this world, a request is something that spawns a patrol order when it's approved. And I think it may be able to spawn more than one order. If you have like a recurring job, I think we may be able to use the one request to throw off multiple orders. I haven't quite figured that out yet, but yeah, that's it. Try and save it and see what happens. Okay, so we have created the request, but it hasn't gone anywhere. Under status, it still says new. So the next thing to do is just hover over the little pencil next to new in the middle. Down a little bit. Where it says status new, there's a pencil icon to the right of new.
And Walter, I think this is important to explain that this is completely different from the previous world. When you and I did the orders for the station this morning, that means you can create a request for orders, but if you don't do this step that you're doing right now, it's just going to sit there. Nobody's going to see it. It really is, you create it and then you send it. It's two steps.
So click on that, Luke. All right, now open the drop down and change the status to requested. And save it down at the bottom. Okay. So, all right, you can stop your screen share, Luke, because that's all you can do for now. And that might be all we need you to do, period. Ms. Corcoran, are you in the system?
Yes, I am.
Did this thing actually log me out? No, it didn't. Okay, so I'm gonna, stop your screen share. And I'm gonna show that this thing has actually shown up in the so here's all the Sector Charleston order requests. So this is live data. This will have stuff that some of the people in the audience have submitted. And if we sort this right, hopefully, all right, so there's, oh, I'm sorry. All right, so this little bar graph will let us sort it out. We've got 4 requested orders in for Sector Charleston at the moment, and a click or two on there, and here are the 4 orders that are requested. So we've got orders for Bob Hasty pending at Air Station Savannah. We've got orders for John out in Milledgeville. And we've got, 2 sets of orders for that flotilla and the one that we just did here, which is Mom Patrol request number 20100. Susan White is the coxswain, and now we can see that this is sitting in here. There's a box at the bottom that says patrol orders, and it's empty at the moment. Once those are approved, then the patrol order number will pop up in there, and we'll be able to link over from that. So, Sam, if I'm not putting you too much on the spot, if you could find that one and approve it, we can move on through to the next point of the life cycle. This is like the Nature Channel, huh? Watching
Okay, hold on.
watching the moth turn into a chrysalis.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey, Walter,
you should be good.
we were told that we couldn't get any mom patrols approved. Any reason for that?
You're not asking the guy that told you that, so.
I know that. LT, can you help us out there?
I approved a bunch of mom patrols, so I never said that to anyone.
Okay, great.
This is Bob Poindexter at 23 Northeast Georgia. I've had 2 mom patrols approved.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Ensign Hess. The last guidance that I received from, I think it was D7, was that those types of patrols can resume. And this is why we're seeing a bunch of those requests now. So I would go back to whoever told you that and just ask them to clarify.
The DCOS told us that.
So here is stuff that has been approved in one fashion or another. You can, once you get one of these reports up on the screen, you can sort of flip around with them. Oh, that's what we got all kinds. You can see everything in the whole auxiliary now, by the way. Traverse City, Michigan, Barbers Point, Hawaii.
Well, that's what I wanted to.
New Orleans.
Maui.
Yeah, I should just be looking at our own stuff here, not to report list. Did I have?
Walter, do you want me to put orders for this coming Tuesday for you?
Yes. Yes, go ahead and do that. And I guess maybe I don't have a patrol order report for Sector Charleston. Anyway, so we've got anybody's facility inspections across the auxiliary. I'm just vamping for time to give us a chance. So 276 facility inspections have been put through or initiated since we went live in the new system. And apparently just since Luke did his a couple of minutes ago, 2 other people have created here. But are there any questions I can deal with while we're approving?
How to add crew?
We add them the crew. All right. So David and I did some orders last week, and it should be right here. Okay. So here's what a set of patrol orders look like once they do show up. In this case, we've got everything on these orders except for the financials, but we'll take a look at the crew. And who is that? Patty that wanted to know how to do this? Who just asked a question, or was that Polly Royster?
That was Barbara.
Barbara, I'm sorry, Barbara. All right. not. So Barbara, you want to go for a boat ride last week?
No, thanks. I'm interested on Sunday, though.
Well, here's how we would do it. If it turns out that you were on the boat and we just forgot to add you, you go to the crew for the mission. We would say new. I would search for, I'm not going to call you Babs in front of everybody, okay?
I'll get you for that later.
All right, so here's Barbara. Here's the patrol order that we're working on. Date applied, date decided. I have no idea what those things mean. As far as I know, you're not active duty. We gave you breakfast and mid-rats. And you were non-lead. You're not the owner, you're not the operator. So I can save that. And you are now part of the crew for that one. Make sense?
So now you're going to go delete, right?
All right. Now, since you weren't on the boat, I'm going to delete you. There you go.
Can you go back to the patrol order for a second when you're done here?
Yes. By the way, this thing is really good about putting links everywhere that you might want them. So if you see the patrol order number or the facility number or member number, it's easy to bounce around. Okay, we're back at the patrol order. What was the question?
The total underway hours and all that, how did that get put into the system? I didn't see it on the initial request.
Oh, okay. What we're talking about now is what we used to call itineraries, right?
Right.
In our case, they're now known as activities. And we had 4 activities involved with this mission. We had half an hour of prep time, so that was O1D, non-SAR standby. We had an hour and a half of MOM. Then we went into 2 hours of air vessel intercept, and then 15 minutes of stand down time after we got back to the dock. So if we wanted to add a new, maybe we had to go back out on a SAR case, you could add a new activity. It's going to want to know what kind of thing it was. It was a boat thing. It does do a bunch of data checking on the time. You can't have gaps in the timeline. And I think you have to use decimal hours. So everything is going to be by 6 minutes. Don't quote me on that. I haven't done a lot of these, but so you pick the, I don't know which boat we're on for this. What's your boat, David? It ends in double D, right?
Yeah, Delta Delta.
1992 double D?
Yeah, roger that.
Okay. All right, so here's some navigable waters. Operations code, don't know what it is, don't care, skip it. And we got called back out to go save some widows and orphans. So there we go. And you would put the date and the time of the start, and then the duration. Let's say that was 3 hours worth of SAR. And we so if I hit save, that would add it as an itinerary. It probably wouldn't because the time is not going to pass validation, but I don't want to clutter it up with stuff.
If we're going out
So
on
anyway, that's how you, pardon?
if we're going out on just a MOM mission, do we have to add activities, or do we add those later depending on what we encounter when we're out there?
Yeah, I don't do any of this stuff till we get back from the mission.
Okay, that makes sense to me then, because you don't know.
Because otherwise it's just a plan and they hardly ever hold up anyway, so.
Okay, thank you.
Another question, Walter. Do you have to build a page for each one of those individual records, like O1 Delta, and then the MOM, and then the SAR standby? And is that an individual page?
Yeah, let's go back and look at that. So in this particular case, excuse me, David was busy with something, so the rest of us went down there and got the boat ready, took it out, and then came back and picked him up. So when you look at an activity log, which is what the AL stands for, we've got the details. All right, so there's our non-stars. There's our O1D time. Started at 5 o'clock on Wednesday. We spent a half an hour doing it. So the thing figured this out for us. You'll notice there's no pencil to the right of it. You can't edit that. All you can do is change the things that it used to figure it out. So on that one, if you tab over to member assignment, this is one big difference from the old system. Used to be, if somebody was there for part of the patrol, there was really no way to sort that out other than trying to get an IS person to go in there and edit something for you. Your member assignment is now activity specific. So we've got the 4 people that were involved in the patrol that are part of the crew up at the top, but only 3 of them were involved in this particular activity. That was Christoph, Mike Young, and me. And let's go ahead and correct that. So on that part of the mission, we've got an accurate accounting of who was actually there. If we go to the next one, when we actually got into the reason for the mission, which was working with the helicopter, we now have all 4 of the guys because we went back and picked David up. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And Walter, I think this is going to be very useful for the air station for people flying up there, because you could do a logistic, like when I was doing like logistic flight to from Colombia to JZI, pick you up, then go to the patrol, and then come back from JZI to Colombia. So I think this is going to be flexible for a plane, and in this case, it worked for the boat as well.
Yeah, so you can have multiple tabs open, so you can be doing different things in here at different times. Do we want to check on Ms. Corcoran, see if the orders have been approved yet? Let's go look at the report. Email notifications, kind of hit and miss with this thing so far. So let's see if we're here in requested. All right, those are still there as requested. Sam, were you able to find the order request?
Yeah, and I clicked approve.
Oh, okay. Yep, here it is. So if we go back to our request number, first of all, you see it's in the approved status now. If we take a look at the request number, you might need a minute to refresh. There, boom. So now it's approved, and guess what we're going to find down at the bottom? Yay, some patrol orders. So we click on that. And now we've got sort of the familiar starting point that we had from AOM. We've got a boat with the owner on board. We've got Susan as the coxswain. We're going to pay Luke when we're done. And Luke and Susan have been pre-populated into the crew. So I'm planning to be on the boat tomorrow night. I could add myself as crew now if I wanted. It's either the owner or the operator, just depends on how you worked it out. So I'll be crew. So I'm non-lead. And there you go. And this would just sit there until we had some actual data to pump into it. Is this making sense? I feel like I'm going fast, but there's a lot of stuff that we should be covering. So
Walter,
slow me
can you go
down.
back to the activity lines?
Yeah. We'll have to go back to one that's already been done. Wait, here we go. Yeah, this one?
That's fine. I go to duration.
Number sign. Do you see it on this page?
No, the activity.
Member assignment. Oh, I think I have to go back to the patrol order itself. Is that right? No, details. Here we go. All right, so
Yeah,
you tell me what,
duration. Hover over that duration. Let's say that your duration there was
oh, yeah,
40
yeah.
minutes. There's the breakdown on your decimals.
Thank you, thank you. It
And
does
and
have
you
some
need to
nice
put,
stuff built into it.
yeah, you need to put the correct decimal in there. Otherwise, you may have overlap or a gap.
Yeah, so I tend to round everything off to the quarter of the hour anyway, because I can remember that.
That's the safest way.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Any other questions?
When you added crew members, did they get an email notification that they've been added?
Immediately.
Oh,
I've already got the one from yours 10 minutes ago.
oh, okay. Well, that's good. Luke says he just got a couple.
I submitted mine.
So, David, do we have the financials from the patrol last week?
Yep, 4 gallons.
Okay, hang on a second. See, once you poke around in this thing a little bit, it starts building a history for you, so it's easy to go back and look at stuff. So 796 was our orders from last Wednesday, and we had pretty much done everything except 4 gallons of fuel and expenses.
So it's 274 for ice.
I'm sorry, you broke up?
274 for ice. And then the 4 gallons of 4 multiplied by 2.65. So it's $10.60.
Okay. So we'll save that. The activities were all good. The crew assignments were all good. And
Meal expenses. Do you have to check each individual?
I think we had already done that, but good question. Let's see what we did there. Yeah, so this was a dinner job, except David doesn't like my cooking, so we don't charge him for dinner. All right, so yeah, this one's ready to go. How do you think we make it go? Right now, these are approved orders. If we go over here and change approved to completed and save it. Oh, forgot to sign it.
And I have to sign it too, or you don't?
You know,
Try it.
if you're in and you can sign it, go ahead and sign it.
Well, try not to sign it, and then let's see what comes up.
Okay. In AOM, by the way, the owner did not have to sign the orders, only the operator. Let's see if this works. All right, looks, well, I guess I got
Actually,
signed
owner
for
and operator had a sign if they were separate.
Yeah. Okay, it's signed. Now,
Sorry.
it went to completed.
Sorry to be a pest, Walter. If those were two different people and the first person signs, does it automatically get sent to the second person for approval?
Your eyes are too sharp because what I just did didn't make sense to me because I'm not the claimant. I'm not the one being reimbursed on those orders. But it had my name next to both of them. So I'm not sure how you would do it like a split signature. We might have to learn a little bit more about that.
Under AOM, the owner signed and then the operator signed and completed.
Yes, but the owner actually did not have to sign. It was the operator. You could get orders submitted through and paid with just an operator signature. I put $500 worth of gas into a boat for a guy that was locked out of AOM for 6 months, trying to get those orders completed so I could get paid. And we finally had to put a ticket into the National Help Desk, and the answer we got back was, "Why do you care if the owner signs it? He doesn't have to. You signed it, just submit it." I never tried pressing the button.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Yeah, question from Luke. Yeah, good point. AOM, you would have to enter your password again to sign a document, wouldn't you? And now you just click on it once you're already signed into the system. Okay, so Sam, again, not to put you on the spot, but if you wanted to take a look at those orders, or if there's any questions about them, we'll answer them now, but they should be in your queue for completed orders that need to be submitted.
Okay.
And that would finish up the life cycle for this particular mission. Anything else anybody wants to see while we're sitting around here?
Walter, I have a question from Bill Ballard. He wants to know how the, I'll read you his text. I have to know how AUXDATA is treating requests. Is it like before, or is there a different way of requesting, like straight to sector? Are they going to sector, or do we send them to Tybee?
I think that's a question for an AUXLO. My guess would be that there is a pool of people that are privileged to approve orders for a certain location.
Yeah, there's someone at each station. Mostly they're like ops at each of the stations, and then me and the new ensign who is going to help me out with stuff at sector. That's his name's Chris Perkins. He used to be an OS1 and then he went to OCS and now he is in IMD like Lauren was. So he's gonna be helping me out now.
So is the location and the subunit both sector, or is the location sector and the subunit would be Station Tybee?
So if you're doing it for Station Tybee, you can put Station Tybee. I mean, it still gets sent to pretty much everyone who has the privileges. So
Okay.
it doesn't, I mean, you can still do it. That way they know it's for them.
Okay. Okay. All right, thanks.
So it's an excellent question though, because these particular orders that we were working on got approved by somebody. I have no idea who the guy was. Justin Miller. Maybe that's somebody's Oxlow at a boat station. I don't know.
It's usually the order issuing authority at the station.
Yeah, except
And that's usually the OIC or whoever he designates, he
yeah,
or she.
but the patrol order request goes into a pool, and everybody in the pool gets an email saying that there's orders that need to be looked at and maybe approved, maybe rejected. In that case, we ended up getting orders approved by somebody that none of us had ever heard of. So that's still a little bit of a mystery out here.
That's not very good.
No.
So are they all being approved, or are they just picking certain areas?
It's up to the district and the sector, and it's up to the active duty member that's putting their signature on it, frankly. So if they only want certain kinds of work done in their area, well, that's their call. But I think we're in pretty good shape here. And let's see, trying to go back and find the guy that approved those Secretary Charleston order requests. One thing, it's important to put something in that summary block so that you can identify the records, because we don't have the nice calendar presentation anymore. So what you're going to be looking at is lists of stuff. So when you see orders that don't have a subject, you have to go over and like, all right, here's the patrol date, or here's the order request. So, and furthermore, for Ms. Corcoran's sake and for Ensign Hess's sake, they sometimes have to brief these schedules to either the command center or their operations officer, and to have a set of orders that doesn't have a purpose to them is it doesn't look right. Right? It looks like we didn't have a plan, and they're probably not going to get any results. So put something in there, and then when you're done, put some robust comments into the description so that people know what they're paying us to do out there. All right, so here's Susan's orders are approved. Let me see what has actually made it through. Order requests. I'm looking for mine. And that was, so you can click on these column headings and it'll sort, and you can filter stuff, and you can group things by status and all kinds of fun data tricks. Where did this go? Does anybody see 617? It should be coming up here. Oh, yeah, here's another little thing. When this was just an unsubmitted request, I was the owner of it. But once I assigned a location and requested approval for the orders, the ownership changed to Sector Charleston. So I think that probably drives some of the things like who gets the email saying that the orders need to be done. Because now I don't see this, the mystery approver that said these orders were okay. I can't find his name at all now.
What does follow mean?
I think it's a button that doesn't work yet. Generally, in this kind of system, it means I'm interested in this object, so send me an email every time somebody touches it. I've tried it on a couple of things, but it doesn't work. There's a lot of features in the basic software that haven't been activated for us. Either we didn't pay for them, or it's just not enough of a priority to turn them on yet. Looks like a nice feature, though. Hey, Bob, Hasty, I'll show you something while we're covering here. We were able to come up with a report of all the qualifications in District 7 in aviation. So here it is, alphabetical by last name. And there's 700, almost 700 records in there of people that have been qualified in aviation at one time or another. We've got some that are certified, some that are REYR, some that are not certified, some that are admin. I don't understand what all these different statuses are.
Going to bed.
But you can.
Yeah, too much chaff there, Walter.
Pardon?
Too much chaff.
Is it?
Yeah, that's way too much.
So if we're only interested in the people that are certified, here they are. So this is.
I need to narrow it down to air station.
Yeah, well, I got bad news for you about where air stations are on the priority list for these people.
I have a question, Walter.
Yeah.
Up there next to certified, on the status bar, if you'll scroll up just a little bit, it shows a number, 214. Is that the individual, or is that the list?
That's the number of records that meet the criteria for the report.
So you've got an Aaron Wald who's on there, what, 4 times? Does that include all the duplications?
Somehow they have created 4 different certification records for that individual, yes.
Okay, so all right.
And like here's Kathy Adams, who just got started. She's certified as aircrew on just in March, right before the shutdown. So she just made it into the old system. Doug Armstrong's in here once. I don't pretend to understand how all the data got there. There's odd things like I've got 2 aircrew certifications. I have no idea why, and 1 observer certification. There are people in here that, I mean, there's stuff in here from, if you just sort it by date, I think there was stuff back from the 1980s.
Really?
2001, probably people are no longer certified. But Bob, to your point, once we've got a list like this, we can start filtering out all the chaff. You know, we can throw it up in the air and have the wind blow the stuff we don't want away. There's Dave Elliott. February 1st, 1985. The guy was certified as an aircraft commander. All right. So there we go. Are we, how are we doing with this approval thing?
It should be good now.
Oh, okay. So let's go look at the, look at my patrol order. So if you just click on under more and go to patrol orders, it's got recently viewed is one option, bunches of them. If I just look at my patrol orders, let's see what we got there. Ta-da! So here's 796 from last Wednesday in the evening on David's boat for Lieutenant Corcoran, operating in Station Charleston waters, and it is now in submitted status. So the one little thing that I think you should know about that wasn't there before, document ID, that's the tracking number for the finance center. So if you need to hunt this thing down, you now have the document ID. So I guess you can go to a website or give them a call and give them that number, and they'll tell you why you didn't get paid.
So submitted means it's been submitted to FinCEN.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And if you look at the, all right, so now we've got all the accounting stuff on it. And one nice thing about this, it does tell you what the SAMA stuff is. I don't think we saw that in AOM. You just got whatever they sent you, right?
Correct.
So now we see that based on the type of boat and 4 hours of engine time, if that's what it was. Oh, you need a lightning charger? I'm sorry. I didn't. Here. I don't know what a Mac uses. Is it like a, yeah, 3.5 hours of engine time gives $20 worth of SAMA. And I guess the meal numbers might be in here somewhere too. And so now you see where I signed it, it time-stamped it. Oh, there he is. Justin Miller, whoever that is. That's the guy that started the whole thing. And then finally, the OIA approver, Ms. Corcoran, thank you very much. Signed it at 12 minutes ago here. So there's the comments on, there's the results of what we did when we were out. It was kind of a weird night. The aircraft was on its way out to meet us and ran into a bird and had to scrub the whole thing. So anyway, I might be running out of stuff that I wanted to say. Anybody got any questions?
Do we report this as a 99 Delta?
Oh, this particular training?
Training. Because it's not a national workshop, right?
No, I'll let one of the IS officers answer that question because I'm not good at that.
And yes, it would be a 99 Delta.
Okay, copy that. Thanks, Patty.
Now, in my case, should I put in an activity log for member training?
Get your instructor hours, sure.
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. Activity logs. New. Since I've got multiple IS coaches out here, unit individual.
Correct.
Since this is a workshop, shouldn't you be doing a 7039 with everybody's name on it?
No.
It's not one of the official canned workshops. It's just member
It's not a
training.
required workshop, so no.
Too bad, because I thought it was really official, Walter.
All right, so here's the, give me a mission code. What are we doing here?
Oh,
06 something, 06 something.
06B.
06B.
There's an operations one. Go back and look and see if there's an operations one.
06A. 06A.
A should be, I thought it would be B.
Yeah, we used that one for the swim test the other day. So 06A, operational training?
Yes.
I think so. I do that one.
I'm teaching you how to operate a computer. How about that?
Is it? It's part of the coxswain? I don't know. What do you think, Patty?
I think it should be 06A because it's all about the boat and the airplanes.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, if you're not operational, you certainly don't care about any of this.
By the way, I'd like to make a comment here. Today I did a communications, one of these, and had put in the wrong mission code just by a single number, and submitted it. And my IS officer called me about it, and so she said, "Why don't you try to change it?" And I tried, and it came back and it said, "You can't do that." And so she said, "Okay, I guess I'll have to do it." And guess what? She can't do it either.
We have the same problem. It has to go back to EduData.
Okay.
They haven't corrected that. It was supposed to be corrected last week, and it's not.
Okay.
So just send it back to EduData. Ask him to either change it or keep it on your watch list for when the authorizations do come through.
Okay, thanks for that. Appreciate the info.
Okay, so Luke showed up at 6:30. We were cranking on this stuff, so I'm going to call it 2 hours. 6:30 to 8:30. I didn't have to go anywhere. Didn't vessel exam anything. No program visits. Didn't check any ATONs. Definitely didn't get near the public. So, line inspection and order management training.
Go back. You didn't put in your FSOIS or your SOIS.
I selected my unit.
You have to fill in your activity approvers.
It might be automatic.
It's not an option yet.
Right.
There's no box there and there's no pencil.
Mine was automatic. It comes up automatically.
I think maybe that's why.
There is an option for that, and it's not showing up.
No, it changed, folks. That's the edit that they did to the system where now it's automatic based on your chain of flow.
Right.
So for us, so Walter will show.
Okay, you all saw it, right? You all saw it. My fingers never left my hands yet. My IS, my FSOIS, and my SOIS are now part of the activity.
Okay, that's something new. Okay.
I think by virtue of selecting my flotilla, it knew who those people should be.
That's a feature that was just added in the last week.
Okay, well. Yep. Oh, these kids grow up so fast, don't they? All right, so here's this thing now. How about if I add people as students? Can I do that here?
No.
Something about attendance.
Can you? Oh, I guess you can. I bet you can.
Assignment, and you've got to add yourself and as lead.
Yeah. Yeah, so every one of these you have to add yourself no matter what.
Well, we're not going to go, I don't even know how many people are on the call. We're not going to go through and add them all right now. But if you
Just put your member number in the search user.
Yeah, click on flotilla first.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do this. Let's give David and Luke some credit.
Oh, I already
add yourself first.
Okay, so if I clicked on flotilla and then I said get my unit members, so now I've got this pick list with the members from my flotilla. Right?
Yeah, but if you go up to search user and put in your ID number, it'll bring your name right up.
Either ID number or last name. No, go
Or
up.
last name. Last name, yeah.
Go up to search user. Go up higher.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what order this stuff is. All right, so here's Luke. And
hey, Walter, Miss Conker might want to rest of the night off. I think we're
yeah. Good. Thank you, David. See, that's why David gets paid for doing this stuff, because it keeps me straight. Sam, unless you've got anything else to do for us, all I can do is thank you and tremendous appreciation for making some otherwise dry content to an actual live demonstration of what we'll be all doing going down the road.
No problem. I think it was helpful for me too.
Oh, all right. Well, good.
I want to know what kind of dog that is.
Oh, so hold on, wait. I did one of those DNA tests to him, and he came back German Shepherd and Chihuahua. How it happened, because I'm unsure. But this is him.
Oh my. What a
He's
beautiful
sweet.
dog.
He's not amused right now.
His name?
His name is Tony.
Tony.
Samantha, thank you.
No, thanks for having me.
And Chris, same to you. If you're still on the call, I don't have the participant list in front of me, but thank you. And as we all kind of sort through this this mess, we'll be teaching each other lots more in the future, I'm sure, especially if they keep changing the program around from underneath us.
Water, put your own name in there so you have a lead.
Oh, okay. So I do flotilla and
It took me out, Walter, because I already submitted mine.
you take you out?
I've already submitted for my hours. You said, because you changed the orders halfway through. First you said, go ahead and submit your own, and now you're just going back and putting it as a single.
All right. All right, so I'm going to add members. I'll be the lead. But I think we could add everybody else to this as a student. Is that
You can.
as a trainee?
As a
I'll do my own.
So this is like a workshop form without it having to be a workshop.
It's like a 70-30.
Yeah, it's a mission. Yeah, all right, thank you.
If we turn it in as a 70-29, we'll get just as much money.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, what do you think? How many people do we have on the call tonight?
You had 41 at first, but now we're back to 30.
Okay.
And you have plenty
I'm going to leave this as is and let you put in the 70-29 time.
Good decision.
Well, it's the most conservative option. Plus, it's the least amount of work for me. So we'll do that. But Bob, this is the same thing that we did for the swim test that just got approved this afternoon. So, all right, that's something else I could show you. And if all you're worried about is patrol orders, I think that's probably all we're going to be able to cover tonight. I did want to show one activity log that got completed because it had something called task capture, which I think is going to be important, at least for the qualifications that have specific tasks that have to be done to maintain them. So let me pop this operational training. Okay.
Well, I'm going to get off the call. I hope it downloads. So.
Okay. So on Monday we had the flight crews have to do a swim test every year. So on Monday we got a raft and we went out to the pool and we did the swim test, and